Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of DIY Public Land Strategies. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about an opportunity that a lot of do-it-yourself public land hunters overlook. If you're going on a bow hunting road trip, almost everybody, the first thing they think of is the first 2 weeks of November. They want to be in a tree stand the first 2 weeks of November. And certainly that's a great time to go on a public land road trip and hunt in another state. But here's another option that you should not overlook, and that is an early season bow hunt. It is one of the best times of the year to go on a road trip, and here's why. I'll give you several examples. First of all, the deer are really patternable at that time of the year. Some states, the season open as early as the end of August or the 1st of September. There's quite a few states like Kentucky and North Dakota that open the first Friday or Saturday, closest to September 1st. Quite a few states open on September 1st. South Dakota is one. Montana opens right in there. Wyoming. There's quite a few states that have these early opening days, and that's a great time to deer hunt because the deer are so predictable. They're typically on a very predictable pattern from bedding to feeding areas and then back, and they're traveling to the same general places each day, so you can figure out where the deer are and put up a tree stand and waylay them or a ground blind or whatever. Now, it's really important to remember that the key to this is getting there early and really doing your scouting. The nice thing is you can get there and scout before the season even opens and then have everything dialed in and have the best chance of killing a deer on opening day that you could have, probably better than at any other time of the year. Now, there's two really critical tools to doing this, and one of them is a spotting scope. And I use a window mount on my spotting scope. I can put myself on a high area or just in a position where I can see a lot of ground, and that's typically going to be soybean fields or hay fields, sometimes wheat fields, where the deer tend to be feeding in the evening and they're visible. And you'll see the does and younger bucks will come out sometimes a couple hours before dark, and then right at dark, then the bucks will typically step out into the field. They'll hang back and watch as the does and younger bucks will feed, and when they feel it's safe, they watch the demeanor and the body language and so forth of the does, and then when they feel safe, then they step out, which is typically in the last 30 minutes of daylight. Okay, that's one tool. The second tool is a good scouting camera, and the advent of these cellular scouting cameras has been a huge benefit to people hunting the early season. Now, it used to be that I would set up a camera and then I'd have to go back in there and check the card to see what time the deer are coming down the trails and what time they're leaving the bedding areas. I would put a camera in a staging area where the bigger bucks are hanging off just off the field and waiting to enter the field. Now I can go out there, and I typically try to go out there in a rain or just before a rain to minimize my human scent, and then this camera just sits there and texts me or emails me pictures, whichever way I got it set. So this is a Covert Blackhawk, which is uses Verizon, and I've found that I can use this pretty much everywhere I hunt. There's just been a couple places in Montana, but pretty much everywhere in the U.S. I've been able to get good cell service with this camera, and it's a big benefit to patterning these deer to figure out what time they're leaving the bedding areas, which trails they're using to get to the fields, where the staging areas are, and then also what point they're entering the field. So really, I would really encourage you to look at some of the states like I mentioned. I love hunting in Kentucky in the early season. North Dakota's been good to me. I've killed a couple deer in Montana, and actually have killed a velvet deer, which is something that a lot of people kind of have on their bucket list. So the early season has its drawbacks. It can be hot and sweaty. You can have issues with mosquitoes, so make sure you take your Thermacell. But it is a great time to see a lot of deer and have a really good chance of patterning a deer and taking one home in the back of the truck. So think about that next time you are planning a do-it-yourself road trip. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think of this, or if you've done a trip. Let's hear your story on it. Hit the like button, and also please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to this channel. Hit that subscribe button right down there. Whoops, there. Yeah, right there. There's a subscribe button. Hit that button, and there's lots of more great videos on this channel like this one, with tons of good information for the do-it-yourself hunter. Thanks for being a part of this.